With the Snowy Spider Spectacle event well underway, maybe you need to know what to spend your gold on in Marvel Strike Force. Today, I'm going to break down my top 10 teams to focus on in December 2023. So if you want to know what I'm going to be focusing on for December 2023, then why not join me in this video and let's get to it. What's going on, everyone? I'm BPG and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I make content for Marvel Strike Force, so if you like what you're watching, why not subscribe, like the video, and maybe even put a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. How I've put these teams into their orders. I rank the game modes based on how I find them and where I find to get the most rewards from. So Arena for me is top because power cores are key to your growth of your roster. So power cores and arena teams will always be first on the list and the highest placed, followed then by raid teams because we use them every day throughout the week. We then have war and crucible teams and also other game modes like Dark Dimension and so on and so forth, where members of those teams can be put into those categories. And they sort of come third, and it's like a joint third for me, really, because war and Crucible at the moment, for where I am in the game, and your mileage might vary, but for where I am in the game, War and Crucible give me very similar sort of rewards. The next thing I want to look at is the longevity of the team. So that's not only how new the team is, but also the game mode that it's used in. As we know, generally, arena teams, they tend to stick around the longest, be most impactful for the longest. You've only got to look at the likes of Infinity Watch, which are still quite an impactful team. They were an original sort of arena team. You then have the likes of Darkhold, which are still in the meta, nearly 2 years on from their release. Raid teams, I look at how new the team is rather than what the team is, because raid teams generally have between an 8 and 12 month lifespan, and then they sort of sit there and rot. And then Cosmic Crucible and War teams, they tend to stick around for a bit longer as well. Longer than raid teams do, and they tend to be sort of more valid in the meta for a lot longer than what other teams do. So again, I look at that for these things. And then the third sort of thing I want to think about when I'm doing these sort of tier lists is, are there any trials or events where they might be used? So the Black Cat trial, the Green Goblin trial, Nova trials, anything like that. Are there any of these sort of events where they might be used, where it will help us by putting more resources into them so we can get a higher rank within the trial? So I'm going to start off with a few honorable mentions, and the first one is a raid team. It's the Invaders. Now, if you're looking at putting any investment into them, really and truthfully, and you're doing Incursion 2, you want to put your investment really into the likes of Nick Fury, Iron Fist World War II, and Cap World War II. Those are your three sort of key members of the team. And I would probably look, and I am looking currently, I've got my Invaders at Gear Tier 15. They can do some of the nodes in Incursion 2 at that level, at level 85, Gear Tier 15. I'm probably going to put Gear Tier 16 on them and stop right there. That'll be where their stopping point is, because I don't want to put too much into them at the minute. Nick Fury I might take to 17 because of, the bigger the Nick, the better the minions that come out of him. The next team is a fairly new war team, and the reason why I'm going to build these is because, or I'm going to put some resources into these, is because Hela and Zombie Iron Man were released Halloween last year. Well, Hela wasn't, but Zombie Iron Man was released last year, and Undying stayed a team that I used all year round. And now with Zombie Juggernaut, that team's just got another boost. And so I think that's going to keep them relevant for another year again, until next Halloween, when they probably release another Undying member. So this team's going to have longevity. Main point of focus for this is going to be Zombie Juggernaut, because the bigger the Zombie Juggernaut, the better. Zombie Iron Man's very kit-based, and Hela can be sort of in the middle of the two of them. So there is going to be another honorable mention investment. They didn't quite make the top 10. Then we have the Eternals. Now, these guys are not going anywhere in my mind. They are staying within my daily drivers. Use them in Crucible, use them in War all the time, and I really enjoy playing with them. They are getting a little more glass cannony. I'm also thinking about taking the 2 of them into Dark Dimension 6. And last but not least on the honourable mentions is the Tangled Web team. Now, again, you might already have these built. I've got my Spider Weaver up to 16, but I could probably bring my 2099 up a little bit further. My Spider-Man Noir is only at level gear to 12, but he's come into this because in room 1 of Cosmic Crucible at the moment, he's just brilliant with the Secret Defenders and having them as all as strikers. So that's why he's on there. And the other 2 are, again, just daily use within Crucible, within War. That is my honourable mentions. So let's get into the full countdown, starting with number 10. And for number 10, we have the Gamma team. That's right, the team of Hulks. Came out middle of last year, just when I started playing. So they've been out just over a year now, and they're still a really decent war team. There's so many counters to them now. I wouldn't have them on war defense. I've actually pulled mine off defense and put them on offense, and I'm having great fun playing with them. And there aren't many rooms that I can't actually take down with them. So they are one of my teams that I would say still have longevity in them. Red Hulk is going to be a character that's going to have a lot of longevity due to his interaction with Apocalypse, giving Apocalypse speed up. And so he would be the main one I put the investment into. I've still got to get Big Boy Apocalypse, so these guys will be going to Gear Tier 17, and they'll be what I'll be investing in. The next team is Darkhold. Again, another Apocalypse team. Really worthwhile. Still massively in the meta. They are the counter to Room 1 in Cosmic Crucible, because Morgan Le Fay shuts off the assist mechanic. I'm still using them daily in War, in Cosmic Crucible. Number 8 is the New Avengers. Now, this is a fairly new war team, and the main reason they're in here is because they are needed if you want to get further in the Green Goblin trial. So you can do difficulty 7 with just Rebirth, and that's fine, but if you really want to get on in those milestones and get higher points and more shards on Green Goblin effectively, and more rewards like the Gear Tier 18s at the bottom of the rewards table, you are looking at having to build your New Avengers. And they are a good war team. For anyone in my position that's been playing for just over a year now, these are a good team. You know, you don't want to be putting investment into teams like Heroes for Hire and, you know, Young Avengers, so to speak, and those type of teams. Those are older war defense teams. This team here, you can use on war offense if you want to. I've got a fairly decent war offense, so I've actually put mine on war defense. And they're a good war defense team. So they're better to build than something like Heroes for Hire because they are new and they're still relative. People to build up big in this: Tigra, Mockingbird, and Ronin are your bigger ones. So in at number 7, we have the New Warriors. Now, this is a Cosmic Crucible team, and again, they don't seem to be going anywhere. This is a nice reworks for Dagger, Cloak, and Deathpool. Deathpool you're going to want to take to get your Big Boy Apocalypse and your Apocalypse anyway, so you're going to want to build them up. Firestar is a really good option for DD6 and potentially DD7 City. Putting out, though, you know, she's a mutant, so different type of gear to what a lot of the City characters are. And they are just a decent team. They seem to be the master key almost to a lot of the things we're facing in Cosmic Crucible at the moment. Number 6, we've got the Masters of Evil. This team is, in my mind, absolutely brilliant. I use them daily in Cosmic Crucible. They're used every Cosmic Crucible for me. And Kang, certainly, and Absorbing Man are used in War for me. Kang on offense, Absorbing Man on defense. And occasionally I put a team together with like Moonstone and Titania and Ultron. It's really dependent on what we're facing. But these guys here, Kang is going to be a plug and play character for years. His mechanics, his damage, it's just amazing. So if you're going to build anyone in this, build Kang big, because the bigger your Kang, the better your Masters of Evil. They're also going to be required for the Nova Trials, which is coming up on the 14th of December, 2023. So they are going to be a needed team for that, and that will help you get more shards and more stars on Nova. Number 5, we've got the Superior / Sinister 6. So the Superior 6 is the new Cosmic Crucible team that's come to us, and we've just got the last one now available to purchase for cores and money, actual physical money. Lizard's event will be fairly soon, I'm sure of it. Where Snowy Spider Spectacle is the unlock event for Spider Slayer. I'm not too keen on Spider Slayer. I actually think he's probably one of the more skippable elements of the Superior 6 team. There are some honourable mentions with this, and this is why I call it the Superior / Sinister 6, because I actually think the best team all round. These guys could be used in War, they could be used in Cosmic Crucible. I've even heard rumours of them being able to be used in the tech lanes on in Incursion 2. But 2 honourable mentions. First one is Vulture, candidate for DD6 City and DD7, possibly even City, depending on how it all goes. He recently had a rework when they've redone the Superior 6, and he is just a monster. Just takes turn after turn after turn. Has really good damage stats now, and really good health to match that up. So he is a good plug and play and can take the place of Spider Slayer if needs be. The other character that has taken over and had a absolute brilliant rework is Mysterio. Now he is going to be my slot in to the Superior 6 team. He will be taking, on most occasions, he'll be taking Spider Slayer's place. And this is just down to the amount of control he provides the team. He's got a opponent-wide blind with an ability block on the primary target. Number 4, we have the Bifrost team. This is our Mystic Raid team. Again, like I said earlier on, I value raid teams quite highly. I don't build them as high, though, because they don't last the time period. So I'm going to take these guys up to gear tier 16. Val is a really good candidate for Dark Dimension. Val I'm going to take up to gear tier 18. Number 3 is the Pegasus team. Now, this team is amazing. Absolutely amazing. The rework that they had done to them before they were released, and Kestrel's rework that she has had done to her specifically, has made this team absolutely amazing. Key components in this team: Kestrel being your main damage dealer, Iron Man Infinity War, really, really good for his turn rewinds and his blinds that he has and everything. Rescue, she is the key component to the team. If your rescue dies, your Pegasus team will go down the drain. Darkhawk as well is a key linchpin, as he is the one that is providing the energy so that your team can keep doing all their special abilities. Kestrel will definitely be going to gear to 18 for Dark Dimension, and she's going to be needed for Dark Dimension 7, so she's going to need to go eventually to gear tier 19, which is what we know is going to be the next sort of level of gear for Dark Dimension 7. Number 2, the Extreme X-Men. So the past week we had the Road Ahead blog announced, and the Extreme X-Men team was one of the announced was the announced team from that, along with Dark Dimension 7. And included in this is Nightcrawler, which is going to be out apparently before the end of the year. It's possible, we don't know yet, but it's possible that this is going to be the mutant raid team, as currently the mutant nodes on Incursion 2 is probably one of the hardest nodes to get through. We don't know the members yet. We have had a cheeky little show off of recently some silhouettes of what's coming in the next patch, but there's no sort of hard and fast apart from Nightcrawler and Symbiote Silver Surfer. We do want to be saving our resources ready for this team so that if they are a raid team, we can drop on it and we can start getting the jump on the mutant nodes within Incursion 2. And finally, number 1 is the Secret Defenders. This is your Premier Arena team now, so they're going to be around for ages. These guys are used every day in Arena, War, Cosmic Crucible, all the time. Now, a little caveat here on this. Robbie, Miss Marvel Hardlight, and Black Cat are definite builds. Photon and Doctor Strange. Photon is part of the A-Force team, which is a really good war team at the moment. Didn't quite make the honourable mentions. Unfortunately for poor old Doctor Strange, he's still sat at level 1 for me with no gear on, because I'm not going to take him. He just gets replaced by Apocalypse, unfortunately. So he is not in the list of people who I would build, but I've had to put him in here because he is a Secret Defender, and I've been recommending teams rather than actual sort of characters. So that's my top 10 teams to focus on in December 2023. Let me know what you're focusing on at the moment in the comments down below. If this video has helped you, please consider liking and subscribing and possibly even hitting that notification button so you know when my next video goes live. Until the next video, stay positive, people.